rookie contest playthroughs in there. Oh, I just forgot I need to adjust my audio. I have a very special guest, Dan Griffin, joining me today.
It's Griffith, but
What
great
did
to
I
be here.
say?
Sound like Griffin to me, like Peter Griffin.
Oh, I meant to say Griffith, but whatever. you know. Let's see. I think I gotta lower yours just a tad. There we go. Perfect. Sorry. I'm very well prepared, so I'm doing all of my audio adjustments on the fly. And I'll get my dashboard up real quick. Oh, there we go. All right, now we're good to go. Perfect. So, I'm gonna go chronologically, but I'm just gonna skip the first couple because I've already made notes on the first couple. So, yeah, and other reasons that I just don't feel like poking at the moment. So we're just gonna go start with Shadow Kept and just go chronologically from there, and then I'll just loop back and do the last couple at the end.
Yeah, so I most of these I don't know who designed them, and I haven't played them yet either. So.
And I, of course, went and did a local match because I'm a moron. Let's see. Because I do that every time I do one of these. There we go. Now, I can't remember. Do you have to do anything in the like the setup to get turn order off? It looks like it's already off. So.
I think it's as long as you aren't doing skins, I think it's automatically off, or you can just turn it off.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good then. I figure, from the back is fine. We'll do pin 2 just to mix it up. All right. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Oh, are you interested in knowing who did this one, or did you want to wait till later to find out?
I mean, we're on stream, so yeah, you can say who it is.
I'll have to go look it up. The Drunk Dan. Okay.
Okay. I mean, most of these, since
Admittedly, I'm
rookie
not
contest, and obviously I know I've played some people who've published before, but
mm-hmm.
you know, I don't play as much as I'd like, so.
What's the? So this is a little bit of a different flyover.
Yeah, probably because the front tee is over. Is one of the other tees is probably off to the left.
So. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I gotcha. All right. Well.
All right. We're turning our order off here.
Yes, I believe so. All right. Well, first impressions. I generally like the way that this first hole is set up. I would make a couple little tweaks to it personally, but I think the massive tee box, and it's kind of flat, so it blocks your whoops. And I just bunted a driver off the tee because I was messing with the controller.
Good while he was laying up. One thing I will say, if this hole is playing into the wind, you're going to have trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably want to, just a basic playability thing.
Yeah, it's a big forced carry.
You'd probably want that fairway to come closer to the tee.
All right, yes. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have a lot to say off the tee. So, my apologies if I ramble on for a couple minutes. Oh, yeah, just a disclaimer. Everything I say is just my opinion. It's my opinion is no more valid than anybody else's. It's just, if you don't like what I have to say, then you don't have to listen. It's entirely fair. But anyway, just general thoughts on the first hole. I think the tee box blocks a lot of the view of the hole, which otherwise I think is framed really nicely. Overall sculpting looks. Ooh, nice.
Sorry, not to interrupt.
No worries. Overall, I think sculpting looks solid. This bunker in front of the green, the sculpting's
Harry
a
here.
little wonky on it, and I really think that like the bunker behind the green has a really nice clean sculpting, and then the one in front just gets a little wonky on you, I think. Here, I should go hit some shots and actually
Yeah.
play this out
I
while
can talk while you play.
Yeah, go for it.
Couple things I noticed. I think the way the water hazard goes right up to the edge of the fairway, and it's well below it. That actually looks pretty good to me. It's not easy to kind of get it the right distance away. Certainly, with newer designers, it's pretty common to have like just this, sheer, severe drop off, um, where either the water doesn't really come into play or it's just too close in the transition. I think it's pretty good here.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also trying to follow the chat, and I'm already being heckled
Yeah.
by Eric and Terry.
Another small thing you
Hi,
might have
gents.
tried. You talked about that front bunker there on the green. I think looks really nice.
Hmm.
Maybe if you elevated the green a little bit so that bunker is kind of benched into the hillside there, it would sort of show it off a little more.
Hmm.
One option.
Yeah, so I was like, I like the idea of the front bunker, but I think the sculpting could use a little bit of work. It's not terrible, but it's, I think that's probably the weak point of the sculpting on this hole. Otherwise, the sculpting's really solid. There's a little bit of some kind of texture transition weirdness on this one. Um, like I guess just some inconsistent ideas of how he wants to handle bunkers and that stuff. And like the fairway, like the aprons and stuff that run into the green, kind of cut off at this very abrupt, like 90-degree angle. So I would make those so that they kind of run in flush. Oh, let's see. Sorry, Thomas. I think this is about as high as I can get my mic to go. Um, like as far as Streamlabs says, it's like it says I'm in the yellow. In terms of like volumes, it's like it's as loud as I can make it, and it says, "Hey, it's going to be loud," but I don't know. Somewhere in the chain, the audio is lost. So I guess you just have to turn it up. I'm sorry. Um, sorry. I'm trying to handle 8 things at once. Um, but yeah, overall, I think this is a solid opening hole. Um, but yeah, I'm sure I can dive into all the. Oh, a 2, nice.
Well, yeah, I told you I made it too.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say you hit the stick. I didn't know that you went in.
No.
Nice. Well, I parred it from the front tees.
Yeah, I saved.
All right. Yeah, I think it's probably going to end up being a little bit of a what do you want to call it? A theme in this one is just a little bit of kind of texture weirdness. I'm really digging like the overall theme and ideas here. Like I'm trying to think like this is like at first I thought this was autumn theme, but I think this is harvest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I really like what he did with harvest. Like that's a really hard.
I think the rock work along the water hazard there is pretty good. I don't know about that this sort of rogue rock that's just sitting in the rough there.
Yeah, yeah. I'd
that's
probably just get. I think there's supposed to be a distance marker of some kind because there's 2 of them.
oh, okay. I got you. Never mind.
Yeah, I agree. It still looks a little weird there, but I get what you're going for there.
Yeah, it serves a purpose though. I just thought it was kind of at first I thought it was just randomly there.
Yeah.
I like the view. I like the view on the second shot here. This is almost what I was getting at with my comment on the first hole.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the kind of you got the 2 bunkers there and then the green above it, and the fact that it's a little bit further away from that cross bunker is kind of nifty. I think.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure I really like the like again for like he decided that he wanted to bring the bunker all the way up into the fairway here, so it kind of cuts into his fairway surface, which he doesn't do anywhere else. Like I think with the front bunkers and the front of that back bunker, I like what he does there, and that he doesn't like just kind of haphazardly run surfaces into each other. And he kind of does a little bit of that on the back one. It's just like it's really hard to run bunkers straight into fairway, and like you can pull it off in like a couple spots, or
Yeah, it
you
looks
know,
like yeah, my kind of, when in doubt, I
yeah. I just try
generally
not
don't,
to
or I
cross
don't.
the your
Exactly.
textures over each other.
You can do it with fairway and bunker sometimes, but just never. I would say never do it with a green. Sometimes I see first time designers do
Yeah.
that, and it doesn't really work very well.
Yeah, and it's like with this style of course, I don't know that you need to run your bunkers into fairways. I think I think you can just like you could potentially make like just a little bit of a smaller fringe and just tuck it kind of up against the fringe without or the first cut without you know.
One thing I'll mention about that hole, the lake really didn't feel like it came into play, which it doesn't have to, but
Mhm.
um, I see it also kind of wraps around the screen. But maybe if you extended it a little further down the fairway, so it threatens the tee shot as well. That just the playability thing.
All right. Yeah, I'm really digging all the ideas on this course so far. But yeah, I'm just not entirely sure what's going on with the surfacing on this one. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of consistency in like bunker style and how they're handled. Like like this one has a big light rough kind of run into the bunkers. And honestly, like the way that you've handled some of your other ones, I'd probably say that it would have just made sense to like surround all your bunkers in light rough so that let's see if get the mouse pointer out here where you just take your light rough texture and just kind of run it outside the bunkers. So just like the entire hole is encased in light rough. I think that would solve some of the kind of wonkiness with the transitions
I
and stuff.
think the main thing about those bunkers for me is I think that I'm not a huge fan of the shapes.
Yeah, I'd agree with
I
that.
think like the I think it'd look neater if it was more like some of the bunkering on the first hole that we saw.
Hmm. Yeah, so far it just seems like every hole the bunkering style is a little different.
Well, and I think that's pretty common with newer designers, at least that whose courses I've played. It's
Like
you're
you're just
trying
kind
out
of
different things, and then
yeah, you're learning as you
you
go.
don't want to go back and have to redo every bunker, so that's kind of understandable.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't, I get why what,
Right.
why that would result from stuff, but it's still just something that, to point out. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of throw everything out there. Like a lot of the stuff I add's not necessarily gonna be like a technical misstep so far as it's
Mhm.
just like a personal opinion, but I'm just gonna throw it out there and listen to what you want, don't listen to what you want. It's all good. All right, let's see. Yeah,
All right, some
there's a
good risk
lot. There's a
reward
lot
on this
going on
one.
here.
I think um, kind of this one. It's like the inside of the dog leg. It's like it's just being guarded by rough.
Yeah,
I think if you maybe lowered that land,
I just throw some
that's a
bunkers in there.
or yeah, or if you want to do something that's not bunkers, you can just kind of lower the land so it's just kind of like a ravine.
Hmm.
Plus, you have that like you have your little river there, and you have it like going out to the right and then coming straight up. You could also just kind of throw a little crook in it so
Yeah.
that the water guards the dog legs. That's another option. But just something a little more dramatic would kind of spice things up, I think.
Sorry, I'm now I have a cat in my lap, so between trying to listen to what you're saying and follow the chat and deal with a cat sitting in my lap, I completely missed what you said there. So my apologies.
That's okay. It wasn't intended for you.
Ow, God, why are you doing that? Ow. Sorry. I'm getting claws dug into my leg. Sorry. So yes, that was the one reason I was a little hesitant about starting all of my rookie playthroughs. Is I have no idea.
Uh,
What do you want to? Yeah, I had no idea if my streams are going to be completely interrupted or not. Ow! Please stop digging your claws into my leg. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Yeah, and having only no, that's not a toy. That is my microphone. Please stop batting at my face. Yeah, admittedly, I think the sculpting off to the left of those bunkers, it doesn't quite do it for me.
yeah, I
It's
like the
just the
idea
yeah.
of like kind of having like this nest of bunkers kind of embedded into some rough ground, um, but they don't totally fit. Um, it feels like they don't like sort of match like the sand kind of is a little wavy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just some sculpting wonkiness.
Ow! Please stop that. All right. Uh, yes. Oh, yes. That is my mic. Stop. Yeah, I like the kind of the wavy finger, like the
Mhm.
the pseudo Dario bunkers. Honestly, like
Right? Yeah,
like.
they're a little Beth Pagey, like they're really big,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got like the little grass islands.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the bottleneck effect on this one is maybe a little bit pronounced,
Yeah.
um, but it's still a nice look off the tee, though.
Terry wants me to stop talking to the cat. Well, well, how else am I gonna get him to stop attacking me or my face?
You have your spray bottle there.
I really should get one. Uh, yeah, I think the same kind of texturing stuff applies here as it has to all the other ones. You know, all of the bunkers are handled a little differently as far as the texturing around them goes. And now he's biting my arm. Thanks. This is very distracting. Ow, that is my hand. Okay, okay, we're done here. Get off. One sec, I'll be right back. Ow, down. There you go. And we'll flip the light on. All right, and we're back. So, yeah. I'm gonna say the dangerous words here. If I think this green might be a little big for this hole. It's not terribly large, but it's just a bit on the big side for me, I think.
I think that's been true of
I think it's
a
going to be
couple of the
true of
greens, and
yeah.
I think I think for me, obviously you can do big greens well. Um,
Yeah. Like this one
if
is
you're just
fine.
kind if you're not sure about like, okay, is it too big or not too big, go on Google Earth and look at some courses that have notoriously large greens and see what kind of dimensions they tend to have.
Yeah,
And then the measuring tool is your friend.
exactly. Like yeah, you don't need Pebble Beach sized greens, but if you have a short par 3 for instance that has like a 120-yard green in every dimension, that's probably way too big for your whole idea. Stop it.
Right, but there's also there are also short par threes with really big greens. Like a lot of the Rainer's short templates have pretty huge greens, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
interior
But
stuff
but there's a reason behind it.
going on.
And there's a playing justification for it.
Well, just yeah.
So for this one, like there's this huge like runoff area that's all light rough. I would just either get rid of that, like just like don't put surfacing there, or just make that like fairway, because it's not really gonna work as a big runoff if it's just light rough.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty good green though. It's got like it's maybe quasi big, but it's like
Yeah.
you know separated out into sections and stuff.
I dig the concept though. This is a great green. All in all, I dig the concept so far. This is definitely a case of like a lot of really awesome hole ideas and just kind of hit or miss execution.
Yeah, and I'd say most for a rookie course, I'd say it's mostly hit.
Yeah,
To be
I would
honest.
agree with that. Cuz it's like my biggest issues with the course so far are like the stuff that's the easiest to fix. Of it's just hey, just a little bit of like tweaking and how you do surfaces. So, I really I also like this is another great whole idea, I think.
Yeah, and you made sure like you got that big sprawling bunker on the inside of the dog leg.
Hmm.
He makes sure you can see it
But it
on
doesn't
the
really
tee.
come into play.
Well, I think it will because it's downhill.
I guess that's true. But I would probably just pull that bunker in and pull it up a little bit so it plays shorter. Oh, I might go find the other one off to the left though. Oh, not quite. Stop that. I'm gonna lock you out if you can't stop batting at my face. Yeah, I'm really digging the environment that he's or the kind of the atmosphere he's created on this one.
Yeah, it feels very kind of like it feels kind of northeast
Yeah, I was thinking the same
around this
thing.
time of year.
Like God, what was it? I'm trying to think of. It reminds me of. I know somebody did a what do you want to call it? A or not a collab, a RCR of some like it's like Black Rock or something, like some course out in like
Uh,
Massachusetts or something.
Aquanic.
I mean, it gives me a little bit of those vibes, but
It's yeah, because
stop.
I think it was maybe Major High who did it.
Yeah,
That's it's like a course up in Vermont.
yeah. Like that's the kind of vibes I'm getting from this one. All right, we got some retaining wall here.
Yeah, I think in this one, I think the water features there off to the left are actually a little distracting. Maybe
Yeah, I'd agree with
just kind
that.
of that was my first.
Cause you have a nice yeah, like especially since there's not really any waterfalls there. It looks like it's
Right,
just
I'd
the
say put
oh
in
no,
some
there's some little waterfalls in there, but
okay,
there's a lot of
but
steam.
yeah,
I don't think
like I
that
like I think he's got some rocks in there, but you can't see them because there's just all that mist.
yeah,
That's
and
just was kind of what struck me at first. I like the retaining wall up around the green.
yeah,
I think it's pretty good.
yeah for a rookie course, I think that's pretty well done on the retaining wall.
This pin is pretty well protected.
I see everybody's all already all jumped into today's big meme. I wasn't really gonna talk about it, but I don't think I can really avoid it either. So, I guess have at it. Whatever. I'm not gonna comment on anything though. That's not what this stream is supposed to be about.
I think the bunker with the big rock wall there is kind of creative.
Yes. As like I think like a lot of the bunkers on the course, it could use a little bit of smoothing out, but I really dig the idea. Like
Yeah,
props
and
for
I think he's kind of throwing us a lot of different looks, but they don't they still look like they belong on the same course. in my opinion, up to this point anyway.
Hmm. All right. Let's see here.
Like I think this is like a really small thing he did, but I think it's good. Like he just off to the right of the fairway,
Yeah, all
he just
the
kind of broke up the ground a little bit. It's nothing fancy, but it's just like, oh well, that's why there's no fairway over there. It's not like just a flat. It's not just flat with heavy rough.
yeah, I
You know,
dig
it's
it.
like it's something you're specifically trying to avoid.
Like I feel like you could probably like he's thrown bushes and like rocks and stuff elsewhere. I think that's definitely the place I would have done it. Is to like kind of rough that land up a little bit, or so
Yeah,
throw some scrub and rocks and stuff in there.
but like the second shot is kind of neat. Again, maybe you could elevate the green just a tad, but you got this little patch of tall grass that you're hitting over. Uh, it's just aesthetically pleasing, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm gonna hit all the bunkers today. Obviously, it's the designer's fault for putting bunkers where I'm gonna hit my shots. What was that noise? What are you doing in there? I
That was a good putt.
oh bite. But I'm definitely getting like some like Beth Page vibes to this one in a good way, I think.
Yeah, yeah, he's got the big bold bunkers. I mean, the greens really aren't like Beth Page in that they're
No,
big. And
they're
that's
not.
more
They're not
contour, but
circles.
that's fine. I also get a little bit of not that I've ever played it, and it's not as famous as Beth Page, but Yale.
Yeah,
Um,
I could see
like
it.
it's you got the rough and tumble parts, and then like kind of the way the water comes up to the fairways. Um, this is really a beautiful look off the tee. I think. Again, you got to look out for your landing areas. Make sure that
Yeah,
someone with pro clubs is going to be able to reach it into the wind.
yeah, that's a little tough.
But then if instead of having one big tee box, you had a couple smaller ones and you tiered them. Because I've noticed on a few holes the tee boxes are little square or like little rectangles, and other ones
Yeah,
are just these big amorphous shapes.
yeah, like that tee box is, that's
You want to be consistent.
massive.
But if you had like a couple smaller tee boxes
Yeah,
and you tiered them down
yeah, cause he he does
so
that
that
over
you
on
could
the
see
other side.
so that you can see this really nice looking river.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, like
like he
the
even has like
river.
the
Yeah,
land poking up and rocks and things.
yeah. Like for this one, especially because the distance to the fairway is so long, and and he did so much good work with the fairway off to the left.
Oh
Like I
no,
just moved the tee further up, like make the
I had
tee
a
box way
slow
smaller and just bump the. I
I had
guess
a
it's a
slow
par
down,
five that you can hit in two, so I
slow
get.
backswing and missed it
Yeah,
short. But yeah, I think like this has the potential to be kind of like a signature hole, really.
yeah, I'd agree with that. Although it's like
Because
I
you got the
really,
giant,
I'm not.
maybe
Yeah,
the walls on the other side of the river. I don't know how I feel about those.
like the big rock ones.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think they're kind of like there's the potential there. Like I like what he was going for, kind of like
they're just a little like straight up and down. I think
yeah, maybe
like the
if you
textures look a little, like I guess stretched is the right word.
yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of like when I lived in New York City, across the Hudson River in New Jersey is the Palisades. Like if you go further north, it kind of
Mhm.
reminds me of that, um, which is really beautiful in the fall. So maybe if you had made those slopes a little more gradual and you put some foliage on them, I think that would be a really cool look.
Mhm. But yeah, I'm not really digging the um like the really bright red texture off to the side. Like I think like you're doing a whole lot of like good stuff with the hole and the like it's just this really bright bold thing in your face that doesn't really fit what else you've been doing. It just seems kind of random.
Right. I think yeah, just slightly more muted type of texture would work better. I think.
Yeah. Because it's funny. That one's weird in that it's like I think that might be one of the rougher ones on the course execution wise, but it's one of the best ones on the course idea wise. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love that hole, and I just like I'd love to see like a more polished version of this. Let's see. But yeah, normally I always tell like rookies like, hey, never like don't bother going back to your first course because like it's usually not worth the time and effort when it's like, oh, just take what you learned and just roll it into your next one. This is one I would love to see, like obviously not immediately, but it's like once you get a couple more courses under your belt and you've got a
Right.
really really good grasp of the basics. I'd love to see like a refreshed version of this course that's like polished up.
So my yeah, minor playability note here. So I've got a 184-yard shot to this pin that's right in front, and the green sloping away from me. And it's like basically my only play is to just hit it to the back fringe and give myself an uphill putt. So maybe just rearranging this a little bit so that if you take on that bunker, you at least have some chance of being rewarded.
Yeah, I like this whole concept. It probably just like it might
Yeah,
suit like a
visually it's really nice.
yeah. It just oh yeah, because like it's like a 200-yard hole. It might suit like a 160-yard hole better. Also,
It kind of
sorry if
reminds
I'm
me of sort of like Nicholas par threes. Like he's notorious for making 200-yard par threes with forced carries.
yeah. Yeah, sorry I've been ignoring you guys in the chat. I'm just trying to juggle a lot of stuff, so some of the comments are just scrolling by without, me picking up on them. All right, let's see here. Does the cat like this golf hole? That's the question. He's mainly looking at the cord of my phone. He keeps wanting to attack it because it looks like a string.
Okay,
Yep,
so
and now
this
he's just
one
on my desk.
I don't know. This hole I feel like we've kind of hit something that doesn't really fit in with the other ones.
Yeah, I'm not quite following what the goal was here. Like so far in this course, most of the holes have had like really great underlying ideas. I think this one to me is just a little bit of a
This
miss.
but honestly, it's not that far off. If he just
No.
doesn't have this back tee, so if you don't have this back tee, all right,
Hmm.
and you make it so that this green can be driven, okay,
That's
and
yeah.
then replace that willow tree, right? Because it's just big and wide, and it's got a bunch of little friends there. Replace that with like a smaller tree, so that with a layup you've got like three options. You can lay up to where you did.
Yeah.
You can go left. That's a little safer. You can lay up to the right of the tree, right?
Hmm.
Into that little space, but you got to flirt with the water, or you can go with the green. I
Yeah.
think that would be a really neat
Yeah.
risk reward for par four.
Yeah, like
Um,
you can do a lot of interesting stuff with it, but I think you have to clear out some of the area left,
right,
and there just
but
needs to
the
be
way the
more.
way it is the way it is now, there's no real. I don't feel like I really have options.
Yeah,
But if you just tweaking, making a couple tiny tweaks,
yeah,
all
especially
of a sudden
because
you have tons of
it's
options.
like a 430-yard hole, but if you lay up, it's like I hit like a hybrid off the tee and like a
But yeah,
pitching and
and
a
I
pitching
had a
wedge in.
perfect driver, and I couldn't make the other fairway.
Yeah, yeah. So there's not really any point to that being there, and I would just, but yeah, again, Execution's not quite there, but idea is good. Although I
Well,
think
yeah. At first, I thought it was like, ah, this one's kind of a dud, but actually, it's you know,
there's
there
potential
is some
there.
potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I have noted, and this is just like a minor personal thing, that's not really a technical misstep, more so than a personal preference. This course has lots of big forced carries, and you go all over like this lake and ravine and stuff, and there's not really any obvious way to get from point A to point B. Like all the tee boxes are kind of floating on these little islands, and then the rest of the hole somewhere else. And I guess you're supposed to like hike or get a ferry or carry like a little rubber dinghy around with you to get around the course. Now you're good, Terry. I believe it or not, I generally try not to get overly serious in any of these streams. Although I have just been kind of like rapid firing just advice and stuff.
I like the look of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really simple in concept. You're just doglegging around this low area that's overgrown,
Mhm.
but it looks nice. You can you can see the way the sweep of the fairway there. You might be able to make this fairway even a little bit wider, but that's just kind of that's a really minor thing. Maybe personal preference because it's all about do you want to take it on
Mhm.
like that.
Ah, nice. Really taking it on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the planting on the inside, but that's a minor thing. It's not bad. It's
Yeah, I
just
think it looks okay.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know how
maybe
I would
maybe
do it, but
I might, but the here's one thing I don't really like
that's a tricky
is
pin.
that I just took this really aggressive angle and I got zero reward
Also,
in terms of
this pin is bonkers.
right, but like I think if this green was angled a little bit more so that I like I just took on the hazard and I didn't really get a reward. Instead, I just have to hit
Oh,
like a 7 iron into a down.
yeah. I hit about as good as a shot as you could possibly hit, and I still have 15 feet coming back. Like I was an inch away from being in that bunker and just barely crept over the lip. So like this green you could pull off with a much shorter second shot, or you you angle this green so that um here we go. Like
Right.
you
It's
take this
basically
shape and
you
just
have a
angle it so that you have
yeah.
most of the length of the green to run up. And then just angle it so the
Right.
left side of the fairway is better. You're very,
Right.
very close. It just wasn't the execution wasn't there. uh, well done, Eric. But yeah, I really dig the vibe though. Like I definitely wanna give some serious props for coming up with a look I haven't seen in the um, what's the theme? Harvest before.
Yeah.
Like, cause I've basically always avoided Harvest because it just looks goofy in my opinion. But I'm really digging the look. This makes me want to go dig into Harvest some. So props, props are due. Yeah, I'm not digging the bunkers as much. The idea is fine. I'm just like visually,
Just because they're round.
and they're
Yeah.
massive, and the sculpting's a little weird.
I mean, I think I like the way they kind of dominate the view on the tee shot. I mean, maybe you don't need them, but like I do like the way the fairway just kind of goes off of the
Yeah,
just kind of like
I don't know that you
flows
need
off of
them
that hill.
because this isn't a
I
hole
think
I
it's
think you can take on driver anyway. The fairway
but
slopes
yeah,
so dramatically to the left that
right. So what
there's
you might
no
do is
there's no shot you can hit
just
there anyway.
right, just make the fairway flare out a little bit to the left, right? And then if you do bail out there, then you know you've got a harder second shot because it looks like the way it is now. Basically, I have no choice but to lay up off the tee and then just hit a ho hum second shot.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I just took a 1 iron and hit it into the wide part.
yeah. Like that's what I intended to do, and I just hit a massive hook. So
So I just kind of,
I don't mind the concept of like a forced layup. I mean, it's not the most exciting whole concept of forcing a
right.
layup and forcing a three-shot par five. But in which
But I think
case,
I like the way the whole kind of
yeah,
it the way the whole kind of works with the topography
it feels like
is
it
neat
fits.
and unique.
Yeah, like I feel like you can get away with some wonky design if it feels like like this one has a nice kind of old classic feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be able to justify of hey when they designed this course in
Right.
1920 whatever,
But yeah, it
you
feels
know
like something that like if a modern designer were here, they'd just take a bulldozer to that hill.
yeah,
But you know,
but you just
back
like
in the day, they
yeah,
couldn't, so they had to find a way to incorporate
yeah. In which case, like if you're making this a three-shot par five, then I think that green's too big. Because the thing about making a three-shot par five is essentially you're building a short par three green. Because you're hitting a wedge into it, so you want to design that green for a wedge shot. Like I like the green on this one. I don't I don't really
it.
the fairway's a little wild for me.
Yeah, the three shaped fairway is kind of
I like
it's
the
kind of wonky.
idea behind it, but I don't know how you'd execute that. Like it
Well,
needs to
I
be
mean, again, here you could make this look because it feels like this course kind of has that classic feel, and this sort of takes me out of it.
yeah, I'd agree with
But
that.
a really simple way you could kind of rectify that is if you just make that second bunker a little smaller and wrap the fairway around it so it's kind of central, and then that gives you like this sort of alleyway to shoot for on the left to cut the dog leg. Um, I think that'd be kind of cool. And then, like, I think that first bunker actually looks kind of neat.
Hmm.
You could play with the sculpting to make it a little more imposing, but
Yeah, I think
again, like a lot, that's the thing. It's like these holes at first, where at first blush you're just like, yeah, I don't think so.
yeah,
But like you just have to do a little bit to them to
yeah,
actually get
like
make it fit with everything.
yeah. I like the idea of like making a really deep, like kind of like that par four or five, like hole four or five, um, that big sweeping dog leg to the right where you had that crazy drop off and that kind of flat bunker off to the left. I think something like that would work really well on the inside of this hole and just angle it a little bit. And then like I like the look of the green. I think the scaling there is very big. Like those bunkers are massive. That green is very big for the shot. Like
Yeah, although if you look at where the pin is just kind of like in this compartment
yeah.
that's set off by the spine.
The shot
Um,
itself works just fine, but
yeah,
I look at this green complex and it looks like somebody drew the blueprints up of a hole and they accidentally like multiplied all the measurements by two and before they actually put the hole down, so they just ended up building it way bigger than intended. Eric wants me to continue to avoid harvest. That is totally fine. And yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what your first name is, but Golf Wolf UK. I definitely agree. He's definitely tried a lot of interesting, unique stuff here. I give him props for that.
that is Pat Odell.
Pat Odell. Okay, Pat. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. It takes me a while to learn people's names. uh,
We have both of the wolves, the Celtic wolf
Golf
and the
Wolf. Yeah.
UK wolf. I hope they don't have like a war or something.
Mm. They have a pack though. Yeah, I would love.
Oh, we've got an illegal pin.
Yeah.
Forget every nice thing I said.
Everything is now terrible.
Yeah.
I really dig the kind of environment around this course. I'd probably bring the trees in a little bit more, like just to give it like it's very very open, which I don't like. I like open, but this falls into that doesn't quite fill its space levels of open. And yeah, I just where there's been lots of really awesome hole ideas here, this hole just kind of this one doesn't do anything for me. I don't
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know what it's
it's
getting at. Like it
yeah,
almost looks like a short green complex.
yeah.
Like, like this is what um, Joe Golfer G would, it's similar ideas to some of his short holes except that it's 200 yards. Like this
It's
could make
actually
a
it kind
great
of reminds me of a court of a hole that I did on Grove City Golf Club for that CLV contest.
mhm.
Where you got it's a long par three with this green that's just kind of in an open field.
Oh,
Um,
I might still
with
birdie it
lots
anyway.
of short grass around it. Um, and you need to basically, I think what he's asking you to do here, if I'm trying to interpret his meaning here, is that you got to kind of just hit the ball into that upslope and then get it to trickle over, but it's not going to stop with a pin uh, where it is there.
Mhm.
I think you'd have to if you want to do an idea like this, you should probably be a little more subtle.
Yeah. Honestly, like with a little bit of work, this would make a great 140-yard par 3. Like
Mm-hmm.
go with the short template. Like borrow something from Joe from his courses. Cuz that's the closest thing to like the vibe I get from this hole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Thomas in terms of holes on this course. Yeah, I agree with that. I like he's dialed the sculpting way up on this one, which I do not mind. It kind of makes me like I'd love to see a little bit more of this in a couple other places around the course.
I would probably my first impression is what's that bunker doing there? It's like
In
the
in front of the green.
yeah, so like the this little tongue of land juts out
Yeah, just for
into
the
the water and
bunker.
you put a bunker on it. So I think what I would either do is just make the water hazard go straight across or bring the green out there and you've got it's a short little par four, so you could have a sort of a devilish little pin there
Hmm.
with like a mound behind it. So if you just bail long, you've got to put it over the mound to get to that front pin. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd agree with
I
that.
like I like the tee shot kind of between the two
Hmm.
mounds there with the water threatening.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Oh, why am I? I'm whatever. I'm trying to zoom back out and I'm failing epically at it. So we're just not gonna go zoom back in at it. I kind of like I might make the rocks a little smaller for it, but I like the idea behind the rock wall that he had here. It kind of works.
Oh yeah, I think aesthetically it looks good. Just I would my comment about the bunker there. Other than that, I think it's pretty neat. Like this green is it's on the big side, but there's lots of unpinnable base, so it makes sense.
Hmm. It's like like I think it's one of those where I don't know how I would score it. This course, like there's definitely a couple execution spots that might cost at some points, but as far as just pure ideas go, I think this might be one of my favorites in the course or in the contest so far. Like with the like with the kind of perspective and polish of somebody who's been around the block a couple times. Like I think this has the potential to be one of the the best courses in the game. There's so much cool stuff going on here. All right, let's see here. It's I think we're doing like another bunkerless hole here. Yeah. All right. Big long bunkerless. I'm really digging the sculpting around the green. It might be a touch severe in places, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I think maybe you bring in the hills on the left. You just bring them a little bit closer to the fairway, so it's like you're sort of hitting over them a little bit. That might be kind of neat. I also think I like the way the trees frame the tee shot. I think that looks pretty good.
Hmm. But yeah, I like what he did with the clubhouse overall.
Very stately.
Yes. I still don't really dig that red color, but hey, I mean it's just a little personal preference thing. He can do whatever he wants with his sculpting.
Oh, is it gonna stay up? Nope.
Yeah, this might be the sculpting might be a little severe for the length of this hole. Idea is great. I think it just it might need a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah, not probably not too much though. I think it's fine to. It's not like you're not dead if you're down here. You just have to get a
Yeah,
good feel.
like to me, I think there's just a little too much of the green area as runoff, but it's a minor thing. All right, well there we go. First one down. Shadow kept by the drunk Dan. Uh, Again, really solid rookie course. Yeah, I'll probably just cut the stream here and start up a new one for the next one, just so cut it into chewable segments, I guess. Um, uh, yeah, but overall, really solid. You know, can't wait to see what Dan does from here. So anyway, I'll just cut it here, and I'll start up in a minute with a another another stream. So for you folks in the chat, I'll see you in a minute.